Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Mahanagar Gas Limited Q2 FY24 earnings conference call hosted by PhillipCapital India Private Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on a touch-tone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Nitin Tiwari from PhillipCapital India Private Limited. Thank you and over to you, sir.
Thanks, Rico. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of PhillipCapital India Limited, I welcome everyone to Mahanagar Gas Limited's second quarter earnings call. We have the pleasure of having with us the senior management team from Mahanagar Gas Limited, represented by Mr. Ashu Singhal, Managing Director, Mr. Sanjay, Deputy Managing Director, Mr. Rajesh Patel, Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Rajesh Wagle, Senior Vice President Marketing. I shall now hand over the floor to the management for their opening remarks, which shall be followed by a Q&A session. Over to you, Runjan.
Thank you, Nitin. Welcome to the participants in this call. Before we begin, I would like to mention that some of the statements made in today's discussion may be forward-looking in nature, and we believe that the expectations contained in the statements are reasonable. However, these statements involve a number of risks and uncertainties that may lead to different results. The risks related to these statements are included, but not limited to fluctuations of sales volume, foreign exchange, and the cost of an ability to manage growth. I urge you to consider the quarterly numbers are not a reflection of long-term trends and indications of full year results. They should not be attempted to be extrapolated or interpolated into a full year number. With that said, I will now hand over the call to management. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon and welcome to the earnings call of Mahanagar Gas Limited for the second quarter of the financial year 23-24. I would like to thank all of you for attending our earnings call today. During the quarter, gas prices linked to different indices as well as spot LNG have remained stable. HPHT gas ceiling price has reduced with effect from October 23 from $12.12 to $9.96 per MMBTU. Stable gas prices and availability of APM plus HPHT gas for CNG and PNG available to domestic PNG, available to CGDs on priority will help offering competitive price compared to alternate fuel prices, and accordingly NGL has reduced prices of CNG by rupees 3 per kg from 79 to 76 per kg and domestic PNG price from rupees 2 per SCM, that is from rupees 49 to 47 per SCM. Currently, CNG offers attractive savings of more than 50% compared to petrol and almost 20% compared to diesel prices in Mumbai. MGL continues to create CGD infrastructure across its licensed areas. During the quarter, 43,051 domestic households are connected, and thus we have established connectivity for nearly 2.25 million households. We have also laid 40.31 kilometers of steel and PE pipelines, thereby taking the aggregated length of pipelines to over 6,653 kilometers. We have added 7 CNG stations, and with this we have 319 CNG stations as on 30th September 23. We also have added 120 industrial and commercial customers during this quarter, and thus as on 30th September we have 4,639 industrial and commercial customers. In respect to our Raigad GA, we have connected 70,654 domestic households and 32 CNG stations are currently operational. During this quarter, we laid 3.75 km of pipeline in Raigad GA, taking the total length to 393 kilometers. This expansion of our pipeline network has created a very good ecosystem for CNG and PNG in Raigad. The first CGS and first mother filling station in Sabroli in GA3 has also been commissioned, and this will now enable expeditious unlocking of demand in Raigad. During the quarter, MGL has commissioned its LNG station in Sabroli, and LNG sales to B2B customers has commenced during this quarter also. Coming to MGL's operation during the quarter, we achieved overall average sales volume of 3.575 MMSCMD as against 3.412 MMSCMD in the last quarter, which is an increase of 4.1%. Current quarter volume consists of CNG volumes of 3.583 MMSCMD, domestic PNG of 0.491 MMSCMD, and 0.501 of gas was supplied to industrial and commercial. Compared to the previous quarter, sales volume increase in the CNG has increased from 2.481 to 2.583 MMSCMD. That is an increase of 4.1%. In case of industry and commercial, sales volume has increased from 0.435 MMSCMD to 0.501, an increase of 15%, whereas sales for domestic PNG has marginally decreased from 0.496 to 0.491 MMSCMD, which is a decrease of 0.9%. Overall gas sales for H1 of the current financial year compared to the corresponding H1 of the last financial year has increased to 3.494 from 3.453 MMSCMD. That is an increase of 1.2%. H1 volume consists of CNG volume of 2.532, domestic PNG of 0.493, and 0.468 MMSCMD of gas to industry and commercial segment. Current quarter EBITDA is rupees 479 crore compared to previous quarter EBITDA of 521 crore. Net profit after tax is 338 crore for this quarter as compared to 368 crore in the last quarter. Current half-yearly EBITDA is rupees 1000 crore compared to previous year half-yearly EBITDA of 538 crore. Net PAT is rupees 707 crore for this half-yearly result as compared to 349 crore in the H1 of last year. We would like to further touch upon EV policy, which is a major development in Delhi region. Government of NCT, that is National Capital Territory of Delhi, has approved the scheme of motor vehicle aggregators and delivery service providers 2023, subject to approval of Delhi Governor's Office. The scheme is for licensing and regulation of MBA, providing passengers transport service and DSP for delivery service of goods and commodities, including last mile connectivity in NCT of Delhi. The Delhi mandates switch to EV from existing conventional vehicles. In case of three-wheelers, switch to EV mandated on net new onboarded vehicle sales from 10% to 100% in a span of 6 months to 4 years. In case of four-wheelers, passengers and good vehicles, switch to EV mandated new onboarded vehicles is from 5% gradually to 100% next 5 years. The aggregator shall switch to an all-electric fleet by 1st of April 2030. Whereas the primary objective of Maharashtra Draft EV Policy 2021 is to accelerate adoption of EV in the state so that they contribute to 10% of new vehicle registration by 2025. For urban areas including Mumbai, targeted EV adoption by 2025 is 25% for public transport and last mile delivery. In our view, the drivers for EV adoption in NCT of Delhi vis-a-vis Mumbai are not one-to-one comparable, which can be seen from past policy on adoption of CNG for both these regions. During the month, MGL has signed a joint venture agreement with Baidyanath LNG Private Limited for incorporating a joint venture company for undertaking the business of selling LNG, liquefied natural gas, as fuel to LNG vehicles. We continue our initiative in the area of environment, safety and CSR. MGL has been awarded the National Award for Excellence in CSR and Sustainability by showcasing its interventions in the category of Best Overall Excellence in Corporate Social Responsibility Practices implemented through our partners NGOs. With this, I conclude and would now like to open the floor for the questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on the touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use only handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Probal Sen from ICICI Securities. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity, sir. I have three questions. Firstly, you mentioned about, of course, the major discussion point, which is the EV policy. Just to get a little bit more clarity, from Maharashtra draft EV policy advocates 10% of new registrations by 25 and 25% of EV conversion for public transport and delivery services. Is my understanding correct?
Yeah, that is right. 10% of new vehicles by 2025.
Okay.
And
public transport and aggregate is 25%.
And for public, it is 25% by 2025. That was draft in 2021.
But nothing much has moved on adoption of that, right, sir, as of now?
Sorry, what is that question?
I'm saying, has anything moved on adopting or implementation of this policy, sir, as of yet?
The policy had mandated 4 or 5 things, all with a deadline of 2025. There was only one thing with a deadline of 2022, which the government could not achieve, so they deferred it. The 22, the only deliverable on 22 was that all government vehicles in Mantralaya and government offices, etc., have to be EV.
Okay.
That successful in doing, so they deferred that one provision of the EV. All the other asks are due only in 2025.
Understood. Got it. Secondly, sir, with respect to the volume growth, obviously the overall H1 growth obviously has been impacted by the fact that Q1 had a fairly low volume growth. This quarter, I believe, MD sir mentioned about roughly around a 4% YoY growth. Now, I know you don't like to do this on a quarterly basis, but based on the H1 numbers, can we draw some sense of where we stand with respect to our overall guidance? We have consistently guided to somewhere around 5 to 6% growth targets on an annualized basis for our volumes. But does FY24 look a little bit at risk, given what H1 performance has been from a volume perspective?
Well, the volume hit which we took in the last 2 years, mainly on account of pricing of CNG, pricing for our cost of gas which we got, etc. That tide has turned, and what degrowth or zero growth which we are showing, that in Q2 we have shown that yes, now we are again back on the track of growth, but we still not have hit that 6% kind of a number yet, because we are still seeing in the CNG segment, for example, commercial vehicle growth still has not taken up. Maybe the transporters are waiting for a little more time, or maybe but once some mindset is set in, sometimes it takes a bit of time to reverse it. It is only 6 months back that we started dropping the prices of CNG, and it is only since 1 or 2 months now that we have partnered aggressively with the OEs to promote these vehicles. So the impact will come slowly, and I won't say we are there right now, but yes, the trend is positive, and all other things being equal, we are hoping to hit that rate maybe in 2-3 quarters.
One last question, if I may, sir. Please, if you can indulge me. The LNG sales JV with Baidyanath, can we get some understanding of how the revenue partnership would work? How the earnings model would work for this JV?
It's a 51-49 JV with Baidyanath LNG. So it's an incorporated joint venture company. And the same proportion of profit sharing will be done as per the equity holding.
All right, sir. I have more questions. I'll come back in the queue, sir, if I get a chance. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to ensure that the management is able to address questions from all participants in the conference, please limit your questions to 1 or 2 per participant. Should you have a follow-up question, we would request you to rejoin the queue. Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Yogesh Patil from Dolat Capital. Please go ahead.
Thanks for taking my question, sir. First of all, congratulations on the good state of volume numbers. I think, sir, the volumes are at a record high level. Sir, I have a set of questions. The recently announced Delhi EV policy extension has also impacted the Mahanagar gas stock price. So question is, how many Ola Uber taxis are running on the roads inside the 3 GAs of Mahanagar gas, and how much CNG do they consume on a daily basis? Can you give us some idea on that, sir?
That number we can only guess because Ola Uber themselves, say that they have difficulty because the driver partners, they have downloaded both the apps. Sometimes they're sitting here, sometimes they're sitting there. So saying, how many does Ola have, how many Uber has is difficult. But what best guess we have, or sense we have, is that maybe about 55,000 of them may be plying on the roads in our GAs on any given day. And their per capita consumption would be about 7 or 8 kgs. So whatever the resultant number is, about 3.5 lakh, 4 lakh kgs out of the total 19-20 lakh kgs we sell is from there.
Okay. And sir, could you please share the CNG volume consumption breakup of each category of vehicle, like the base buses, 3-wheelers, 4-wheelers, private car, 4-wheeler taxis? Just wanted a rough breakup from your side on each category.
Again, to answer that, let me start with a caveat. We do not have data at that level of granularity because, we don't get to capture and store sales at the dispenser for each vehicle against each category and, stuff like that. So, whatever, again, best estimates we have on the basis of a few surveys which you have done or some other secondary data is what I can share with you. There are about 4.4 lakh private passenger cars running on CNG, and our estimate is they take about 30% of the roughly 19.5 to 20 lakh kgs per day of CNG which is sold. There are about 3.9 lakh auto rickshaws which ply, and by our estimates their contribution is about 30% or so. The cabs and aggregators, as I told you, it will be about 4 lakh out of when I say cabs and aggregators, it is predominantly this Uber Ola because the black and yellow fleet has really shrunk and not many of them are actually operating on the roads. If you look at the buses of the state transport undertakings, BEST, MSRTC, NMMT, etc., they represent about 7% of our volumes. They take roughly about 1.4 lakh kgs a day. The remaining is shared between the basically commercial goods segments, small, medium, large, etc.
Really thanks, sir. It was a really much granular information. Last one from my side. How many vehicles are added?
Please take it with a pinch of salt because these are not very accurately measurable.
Yeah. So last question from my side. How many CNG vehicles added during the Q2 FY24? And if possible, how many of them are LCVs or CV? Numbers from your side.
Could you repeat your question, please?
Yeah, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah.
So how many CNG vehicles added during the quarter second FY24? And out of that, how many of them are LCVs and CVs?
Roughly 19,900 CNG vehicles are added during the quarter. Okay. And you are saying out of that, how many?
LCVs.
LCV.
That is SCV.
LCV is around 1,300.
Okay. So, sir, frankly speaking, this number has we have seen a jump. So last quarter, you have said close to 15,000 per quarter kind of CNG vehicle addition. Now it has gone up to the 19,000, 20,000 level.
Correct.
So have you seen the same kind of a jump in the LCVs, CV side? Is it in
I think there is an increase of around 100, 150 LCVs compared to last quarter.
The majority of the increase would have come from the passenger car segment, where since the first, second week of September, we have started running these incentive schemes there.
And the CNG volumes has increased from 2.481 MMSCMD to 2.583 MMSCMD. That is a jump of more than 4% Q1 this year versus Q2, primarily because of the number of vehicles which are running. Addition.
Hello.
Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Patil. May we request you to rejoin the question queue for follow-up questions, as there are several participants waiting for their turn. Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Niharika from Equitas Investment. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity. So my first question is some update on this unrivaled acquisition in October.
Sorry to interrupt, Ms. Niharika, you are not audible. May we request you to use your handset, please? Ms. Niharika, we are unable to hear you. May we request you to use your handset, please? Ma'am, your line is not clear. May we request you to rejoin the question queue in that case? Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Sabri Hazarika from Emkay Global. Please go ahead.
Yeah, two questions from my side. First is on, we have seen that you cut the prices and there's been some sort of like a volume growth which has happened. So is the Mumbai market showing some sort of like good price elasticity in terms of like CNG demand in particular?
Price elasticity for a 3 rupee change, is really difficult to measure. But what we are trying to do is we are trying to reverse the sentiment in the market. When in a span of 2 years, CNG went up from 49 rupees a kg to 89 rupees a kg. And since the last 8 months or so, whenever we have got the opportunity, we are trying to reverse that trend. So we did a small drop in February, then in April, etc. So this time I think we got a opportunity when our gas cost decreased because of the reduction in the HPHT price cap. And our margins anyway were the healthiest ever in Q1. So basically to move consumer sentiment and to encourage adoption of more CNG, we dropped that price by 3 rupees.
So with this recent price cut to 76, are we at a 10-11 sort of EBITDA per SCM? Any idea on that?
Some savings has come due to the reduction in HPHT ceiling from 12.12 to 9.96. Okay. Also consistently we are getting HPHT gas for our balance requirement for priority sector over and above APM availability. APM availability has been constant. Okay. So we feel that very little dependence, if at all, on spot will be there for CNG as well as domestic PNG. And HPHT capped at 9.96 and APM available at 6.5. I think gas cost will remain very, very stable at least till this year end, unless something happens on the foreign exchange side. Okay. In view of that, we can say that yes, our margin will remain, and on an annual basis, as earlier we have been guiding 10 to 12 rupees is a achievable target. This year it could be a little higher than that, having already achieved in the first half almost 14.5 EBITDA per SCM.
Right, sir. Okay, so thank you so much and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of S. Ramesh from Nirmal Bang Equities. Please go ahead.
Good evening and thank you very much. So if you were to go back to this question about the concern on the EV penetration, I know we are all possibly groping in the realm of what could happen in the future, but when you look at your overall target of 6% growth, if you take FY25-26, is a 6% volume growth achievable even if you see some progress in the EV conversions in your GAs? How do you see that?
See, the EV, yes, the policies have been announced earlier also, and now also some targets have been announced in the NCR. So one, that the overall volumes are growing because of CNG conversions also. New vehicles are being added. We are launching new schemes to get more conversions. So the impact of that will also come. And there is a scope of market to grow for all the segments, because overall the health of roads are getting better in highways and other connected areas, where the floating population of heavy commercial vehicles are also expected to pick up in next few years. So having said that, the impact of EV is not likely to be very significant as far as our analysis goes. Yes, it will have an impact after 7-8 years or so when actual conversions of EVs take place. But there again, the scope in existing vehicles which are running on diesel to get converted into CNG is also going to happen pretty fast in next 3-4 years time. So our volumes are not actually in total danger. Maybe it get impacted if very aggressive conversion happens, but we expect that 5 to 6% growth of volumes to continue for next 5 to 6 years of time.
Okay, and second thing is the recovery in the industrial and commercial segment. Is it something which we can expect to continue for the next 2 quarters and the next couple of years? Is there a sustainable recovery there?
Well, if you look at a quarter-on-quarter basis, the number looks high, about 14-15% or something. But there is a reason for that. Q1 our industrial volumes were really actually low. They were lower than previous year also. The reason for that, main reason for that was 2-3 of our largest consumers happened to take a shutdown, maintenance shutdown in that quarter, which impacted our volumes. Now that depressed the base, and in Q2, we had upside in about 15,000-16,000 SCMD from one existing customer who was using liquid fuel, whom we could persuade to switch to gas for the remaining requirement also. So, and if you look at H1 versus H1, the increase is normal 5-6%. Having said that, I&C growth in the next 1 or 2 years, you may see slightly higher than what we had been doing in the past. This is mainly because we have tweaked our contracts, we have made them more user-friendly, we have done away with elements like take or pay, etc. We have given a lot of flexibility to customers. We are also giving them a kind of 3-year 10% discount guarantee for new customers who are using a good amount of gas. Because of all these changes, we have signed up more than 1 lakh SCMD worth of contracts, which we will be connecting and commencing gas supply over the next few quarters. So there will be an uptick in the segment. Later on, after that, with pipeline reaching few more areas in Raigad also industrial volumes will start contributing.
Okay, so if you were to just summarize your existing GAs in Raigad, just a clarification, you gave some numbers in terms of infrastructure addition. So the 319 CNG and the 32 CNG stations, are they separate numbers, or should we read the 319 including the 32?
319 including 32.
Okay, and secondly, this 6% growth will include the ramp up in the volumes in Raigad also, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Varadarajan Sivaskaran from Antique Limited. Please go ahead.
Thanks for the opportunity, sir. Just wanted to understand on the CV front, what is the promotional scheme which we are running as of now?
On the what front, sorry?
CVs, commercial vehicles.
Commercial vehicles.
Yeah.
Well, we have basically segmented the commercial vehicle market into categories depending on the gross vehicle weight. For vehicles which are more than 3.5 ton weight up to about 10 tons, we are giving a fuel card, CNG fuel card worth about 2 lakh rupees. Then if the gross vehicle weight is between 10 and 15, we are giving 3.5. If it is more than 15, we are giving 5. Now this card can be used to buy CNG from our 319 stations. And since the per capita consumption of these vehicles is large, the higher the tonnage, the more kgs per day they take every day for their runs, we have calculated that we get an attractive payback. So for initially some 1 or 2 years of sales promotion expenses, we will get a longer run volume addition. And the other main condition is these vehicles need to be registered in RTOs inside MGL's GAs. So it's not the case that some vehicle from Karnataka, Gujarat or Delhi comes here and takes that incentive and goes, because whoever takes it has to fill it from a CNG station inside MGL's GA. So that is the limitation we have put on the card.
Yeah. So this is a blanket scheme for all the existing vehicles as well, or is it only for the new vehicles which are getting registered?
It's only for new vehicles.
For heavier segments, we are allowing retrofit and new vehicles both. And for essential,
for commercial goods vehicles, there are about 20 plus models in the market. I think we are doing incentives with almost all. And in the passenger car vehicles also, we are doing giving incentives worth 19,999. And this we are only giving to select models of the top OEs. Because in CNG, there are some very, very high selling models which have wait time of 3 months, 4 months, etc. So they are anyway selling, so there's no need to incentivize them. So we have sat down together with 4 of the top OEs of passenger vehicles, and we have identified which models we are going to promote. And the models were selected on the basis that their base sale is not really good, but given a nudge, the potential for sales is high. So out of the 12 models of Maruti, which are on CNG, out of the 14 total models, we have identified with them 7 models in which we are giving incentive. Hyundai, we have identified a couple, and with the other OEs also, Tata and Mahindra, we are doing something.
When were these schemes started, sir?
It started from progressively from about 7th or 8th of September till the last one we signed up was probably in the last week of September.
Okay, and how are you publicizing these things, sir? How does it reach the intended target customers?
There are joint advertisements by us and the OEMs, like Maruti is putting a joint advertisement with MGL, or Ashok Leyland is putting a joint advertisement with us, and they are advertising like that. Also, at the point of sale, the dealer's location, also wide publicity is being given to them. As far as the retrofitment is concerned, all the retrofitters are taking sufficient measures to publicize it. In fact, the better way for the CV is to have the potential customer meet, which Ashok Leyland and others have lined up and already done. We have done close to around 3 to 4 customer meets in which the potential fleet owners are being invited to talk directly with the OEM as well as with MGL officials.
Thanks, sir. Just curious about this fact that you are also incentivizing retrofitment. Given the fact that there is a wide variety of OEM vehicles available, is there any real requirement to address the retrofitment market?
We feel that retrofitment is also will add the potential, add the vehicles, because this market was almost coming to a standstill. And with this, our scheme, it has given a fresh life. And what we have done this time is that we have gone through the retrofitment route through the kit manufacturer or distributor rather than going to the retrofitter directly, so that the quality is maintained at the same time when the retrofitment is being done.
These vehicles will add on to the new sale, no? So retrofit is always an add-on to the existing OE models available, and there is an option which is now available for existing vehicle owners to shift to CNG, given the environmental benefits and running cheaper cost of running.
And as you know that beyond a certain number of years, the diesel vehicles are not allowed. So it is a win-win for the vehicle owner also that his life of the vehicle to ply within MMR region gets extended by 7 years.
Understood, sir. One last question on this upgradation of the outlets.
Shiva Sankaran, may we request you to rejoin the question queue, please, as there are several participants waiting for their turn. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, in the interest of time and fairness to all participants, may we request you to restrict to 1 or 2 questions per participants. Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Maulik Patel from Equirus. Please go ahead.
Thanks for the opportunity. A few questions. One, can you just give the supply breakup and what's currently the cost of LNG? What was there in Q2?
Gas supply.
CapEx? You are talking about CapEx?
Gas supply. How much of the APM you received and other long-term or the medium-term LNG contract you have?
Currently, if you look at our contracts, APM we are getting around 2.7 MMSCMD and around 0.8 MMSCMD is through various term contracts, including Henry Hub, term contract, and HPHT.
So hardly any spot LNG purchase you have?
Very negligible spot LNG, but let's say if spot is cheaper than any of these term contracts, then we do have some ramp down in the existing term contracts. To that extent, we substitute spot for this term contract if it is advantageous in terms of lower prices of spot. So last 2 quarters, at times we have added spot whenever it was cheaper than either Henry Hub or cheaper than HPHT.
And in the last con call, you mentioned about that rich gas which you get it, which essentially led to the lower MMSCM volume. And in the last con call, you gave a number of around 184 million kg was the number for the CNG. What was the corresponding number for this quarter?
You are saying in terms of kgs, what is the MMSCMD? That is what it is 1.9.
Kg, what is your CNG volume?
Yeah. CNG in terms of kg is 1.897 for Q2. Kgs per day, million kgs per day, 1.897 is the number for Q2.
Okay, per day, right?
Yeah. Q1 was 1.838 million kgs per day.
Okay. Thank you. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Our next question is from the line of Niharika from Equitas Investments. Please go ahead.
Hi, thank you for the opportunity. So my question is regarding the Unison acquisition. So any update on that, as we are already end of October is going on?
Yeah, the update is the 5-year lock-in has expired on 25th of September. So Unison has applied to the regulator. Now there is the board meeting is yet to be held for the PNGRB. So they will put up the proposal, and once the proposal is cleared, so we expect that in the month of November we should get the clearance from the regulator, and thereafter we will get the acquisition.
Okay, so numbers should start flowing in our books from probably the last quarter of this financial year.
Probably Q3, yes. If it happens in November, Q3 of this year.
Okay. And my next question is that we have reduced our prices by 3 rupees in CNG and 2 rupees by PNG. And HPHT got reduced 12 to 9. So have we passed on the full benefit, or is it more than the benefit that we have passed on?
As we said earlier, I think it is little more than the benefit of HPHT itself.
Okay, and how much HPHT have we?
The numbers can be seen from EBITDA per SCM also. Our EBITDA per SCM is slightly come down from last quarter. So what we are also focusing at is to increase the volumes. and therefore we have reduced the prices slightly higher than what the benefit we were getting in the procurement cost.
Okay, and how much HPHT have you procured in Q2?
Q2 HPHT was around 0.3 MMSCMD.
Okay.
0.28.
0.28. Okay. And on the card scheme which you just mentioned, so how are we expensing the card expense? So as soon as we issue, is it coming in our P&L or is it like deferred whenever the card is swiped?
No, it will be based on the utilization by the person. So if you are getting a card and you are filling the gas, you will get a statement from the bank for card utilization. Based on that, it will be expensed out. However, it can be done on a estimated basis as well. So since we have just launched it in the end of Q2, we will wait and see. Both options are available with us.
So there will be a slight jump in the sales promotion expense in the.
There will be jump in the sales promotion expenses. Yes.
Okay, and my last question is that I read an article which said that some 10,000 EV buses are going to get incorporated in Mumbai. So do you have any idea or any update on that front? Like, is BEST or any other bus player is getting very aggressive on the EV front?
No, on the contrary, we heard that whatever commitment BST had from the suppliers, that itself is not getting fulfilled. So I don't know, we are not.
Total buses running are hardly how much? 3,000?
They have 480 EV buses. In the last 1 year, they have not managed to get more than 10 or 20 buses. Okay. And there was also a news report today or yesterday. The Honorable Petroleum Minister, I think, in some conference had made a statement saying that the government is coming up with giving a subsidy for some 10,000 odd buses across the country, but that subsidy will only go to smaller cities and towns, not to the metros, because whatever subsidy they will go to metros, that metros have taken. So the next tranche, and this is a public announcement which had been made, is going to smaller towns and cities.
EV adoption of buses in Mumbai will be a slightly challenging job because of space constraint in Mumbai also. Right now, the charging happens in night and the buses run in the daytime. The range of electric vehicle buses is much lower as compared to CNG. Therefore, the chappers having the same equal of movement of buses, they will require higher number of buses. Storage of that buses will not be available in Mumbai like city. So that is another issue. Then charging point is another. Third is the availability of buses. Fourth is the cost, which is much higher. Capex is required for procurement of electric vehicles. The supply side is still a constraint. So we expect these issues to be addressed. Then only the penetration of electric vehicles, especially in a city like Mumbai, will have made any significant impact.
Just to tell you, in Mumbai today, the BST is operating their lowest number of buses in their history, and that's how the queuing time at a bus stop is 45 minutes. So it is primarily maybe because of their dependence on or miscalculation of getting EV that they have not received so far. In fact, if I read the newspapers about a recent development in Pune, they have now switching back to CNG, PMPS.
Even MSRTC is adding up more buses to CNG from their diesel fleet to CNG. Conversions are happening month-on-month basis.
Okay.
This quarter we have, MSRTC, NMMT put together around 80 odd buses added in quarter 2. And BST 79 buses have come on CNG this quarter, Q2.
Sorry, MSRTC around 80 buses and BEST you said almost 80.
Yeah. Both similar.
Both 80 number.
Okay, that's very helpful. Thank you. That was it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Vikas Jain from CLSA. Please go ahead. Mr. Vikas Jain, your line has been unmuted. Please go ahead with your question.
Hi, thanks for taking my question. I have two of them, please. First is, if you could firstly, thanks a lot. I think after our feedback last time, you have given the million kg number in the footnote for 1Q and 2Q. Could you give me the comparable numbers for the quarter of 1Q FY23 and 2Q FY23 as well? That's the first one. And the second question is, on a QOQ basis, the decline that we see in gross margin, what could be the broad reason for that? Because the price cut that we are talking about is something that has happened only in October. So from that perspective, why do we see this decline? Any particular reason for that, please? So those are my two questions. Thank you.
If you see first I'll address the question of gross margin reduction. Okay. So first quarter, the prices were higher for around 7-8 days. Okay. That also gives some little upside. Okay. And in case of Q2, we have been aggressive with respect to I&C marketing and the volume push with good amount of discount to the new customer and customers with higher load. Okay. So that is where our I&C margins have compared to Q1 is lower. Okay. And marginally there is an increase in gas cost, maybe in the range of 30-40 paise compared to Q1. So and sometimes within CNG also the proportion of realization changes depending on the mix of sale through our own outlet, sale through OMC outlet, sale through private outlet. So sometimes margins in CNG keeps on changing depending on the mix of the outlet. Okay. So these are the 2-3 reasons where you can see that around little less than 2 rupees is the reduction in gross margin compared to Q1 of this year. Yeah.
The second part of your sales volume CNG is around 1.80 million kg per day for financial year 22-23. For H1 comparison, it is 1.82 million kg per day for 2022-23 half year, and this year it is 1.87 million kg per day for H1 23-24.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Amit Rustagi from UBS. Please go ahead.
Yeah, sir. Good evening. Sir, if we have to grow our volumes from here, maybe let's take 0.2 or 0.3 MMCMD, where do you think that additional gas will come from? And do we have additional domestic sources like HPHT available to us, or we have to move to spot LNG if we have to see a volume growth from here?
The gas is available in ample quantity. As much as we want, we can take it. First, that APM is allocated for PNG and CNG, which maybe can slightly go down, but HPHT is available in sufficient quantity. And spot also is at a very reasonable rate as of now. So we don't think that the gas gas is available, HPHT or spot. We take a call. Primarily HPHT is anyway available. And more or less our dependence on spot has reduced since last year or so, primarily because we have gone for more term contracts. So we find that gas at reasonable cost will be sourced in the coming few quarters or next few years.
As you are aware that
are we looking? Yeah, sorry, go ahead. Sorry, sir.
We also expect that Reliance and ONGC will also come out with fresh bidding for the HP volume, which is
okay. And
HT bidding for November, I think 2021, around 4 million.
And from February onward this year, the first priority is given to CGD for HPHT sale.
Okay. So, sir, we are looking to bid some gas in this upcoming bidding to ensure that we get sufficient volumes at a good price. Because spot is really around $18 right now, APC currently.
Yeah. We will do that.
We will evaluate and we may go for some more term contracts depending on the volume of take which is expected to increase in next few quarters.
Okay. And so lastly, on the propane pricing, now propane prices have gone up in the third quarter. So are we seeing some industrial volume returning back to us?
There are hardly any propane customer in our geography. most of them have long back shifted to natural gas from propane. So we hardly have any propane customer.
Most of our customers were using FO, LSHS, LDO, etc.
Okay, got it, sir. Sir, thanks for answering. Yeah, thanks for answering my questions, and sir, wish you all the best and happy Diwali to the entire team.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Happy Diwali to all of you.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Kirtan Mehta from BOB Capital Markets. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir, for giving this opportunity. Would you be able to give us some color on the volume growth between GA1 and GA2, particularly in terms of the CNG volume pickup that we are seeing?
Sorry, GA1 and 2 volume growth in CNG.
Yeah.
GA1 and GA2 are actually, seamless. Attributing CNG volume in GA1 and GA2 because vehicles go all the time from Mulund to Thane, Thane to Mulund, Chembur to Vashi, Dahisar to Mira Road. So, we, for purpose of analysis, we usually club GA1 and GA2 as one unit. So, actually, it's almost impossible to do a proper,
GA-wise reconciliation of CNG is not possible because, as Rajesh explained, vehicles are moving all around the GA1 and 2.
Understood, sir. And in terms of the capex, what is the actual capex run rate that we have done in the H1, and what would be our target for the entire year?
We have done around 300 crores in H1, okay, and we expect anywhere between 700 to 800 crore. If most of the planned activities, permissions for pipeline laying as well as availability of plot is there, we can go up to even 900 to 1,000 crore.
This is excluding the Unison acquisition.
Yeah.
Right, sir. Thank you.
Usually our H1 is lower because of the season starts somewhere around October, November. So H2 is always higher capex.
Right. One more. In terms of the employee cost run rate, we are seeing a bit of a pickup this quarter. So what would be sort of the annual guidance on the employee cost?
This increase is mainly on account of new employee numbers getting added. Okay. I think most of it has been done. Some could be because of some incentive schemes, etc. Okay. So it should be now onwards normal quarter on quarter this.
Right. Just last question in terms of the you explained about the.
Mr. Mehta, we request that you return to the question queue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next question is from the line of Probal Sen from ICICI Securities. Please go ahead.
Thanks, sir. My questions have been answered. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Good.
Our next question is from the line of Yogesh Patil from Dolat Capital. Please go ahead.
Thanks for giving me an opportunity again. So, sir, during Q2, we have seen a jump in other expenses. Is this because of increase in marketing cost or any specific reason or any one-off?
So, marketing cost is there, but it is not so high. Nominal increase is there in the marketing cost. With increase in the volume, there is an increase in the linked costs like transportation, power and fuel, etc. Also, there is an increase in case of repair, maintenance, etc. Okay. So these are apart from that, on overhead side, we were running our strategy exercise. So there was an increase in the consultancy expenses, and as outcome of strategy, also we have taken up a lot of digitization and other initiatives. That is where OPEX has gone up. Okay, you will see some increase in OPEX towards this year Q2 and Q3 on account of marketing. Okay, once the engine numbers click in.
Thanks a lot for answering all the questions, sir, and wish you happy Diwali to all Mahanagar guests.
Thank you. Same to
you.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Manikanta Gare from Franklin Templeton, India. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Sorry, sir. May we request you to use your handset, please, as your audio is not clear, sir.
Yeah, is it better now?
Sorry, Mr. Gare, we are unable to hear you clearly. Could you please use your handset?
Using handset.
Sorry, sir. The audio is not clear, sir.
Hello, is it better now?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, sorry about that, sir. So just wanted to understand on this partnership with OEs that you have done. How long will this partnership continue? I mean, is there any limit on number of vehicles you want to give this incentive? That's first question. And what would be the contribution of the OEMs towards this fuel cost that you are offering? That's the second question, sir.
As regards the tenure, initially we are looking at the festive season. If the schemes work and they succeed, we see no reason to discontinue them, because more volumes come in, more vehicles come in, they are going to be with us for 10-15 years. As regards what contribution the OE is making, if I give an example of Maruti, for the 7 vehicle models which we are incentivizing, Maruti is also chipping in with discounts and benefits ranging between 15,000 to 60,000 rupees against our 20,000.
So this 20,000 for PVs and 2 lakhs to 5 lakhs that you have mentioned for these, there is a contribution from OEs included in that, is what you are mentioning?
In the passenger car segment, yes, it is there. This is over and above what MGL is giving.
For passenger vehicle, OE contribution is over and above MGL's contribution of 20,000, in the range of 30,000 to 50,000 from OE side in some of the passenger vehicles. For commercial vehicles,
and the commercial vehicles, the offering from the OEs is more in terms of extended warranty and those kind of things. It's not upfront financial benefit is not on the table.
Understand. And just one last question, sir. Here, if you decide on continuing this scheme for long, and if it gets successful this season, I was just wondering, would that have some downward pressure on the unit EBITDA margins for you going forward? Have you worked on that numbers?
it's not very significant, because whenever we launch these schemes, it takes some time for it to pick up, and the numbers in overall expenditure is not very heavy to make any significant impact on EBITDA.
And the additional volumes which we will gather through all these schemes, they will more than take care of any small reduction in EBITDA or SCM, if any, for the short term.
Right, sir. Thank you so much for answering my questions. That's all from my side.
Sure.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Varatharanjan Sivasankaran from Antique Limited. Please go ahead.
Thanks. So, in terms of upgradation of outlets, you used to give a number. What are the kind of numbers we had last quarter, and maybe in the first half also, if you can give us the overall number?
Upgradation? Changes.
In this quarter, you are asking?
This quarter as well as the previous quarter.
I think they're not much, maybe around 7-8 stations have been added.
Upgradations are more, I think. More.
While you're looking for the data, so my second question was on the availability of high pressure, high temperature gas. Is it still available in IGX as and when you want? Can you access it?
Yeah. HPHT is available in IGX. As far as upgradation is concerned, I don't have quarter-wise number, but in H2 we have upgraded H1 we have upgraded 16 CNG outlets. I don't have Q1 and Q2 breakup, but 16.
Yeah, not a problem, sir. Sure. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Devang Patel from Samiksha Capital. Please go ahead.
So very briefly, just wanted to understand the new scheme for incentivizing CVs. How long are you planning to offer this?
Well, I think we just answered it some time back. We are definitely offering this for the festive season, and depending on what response we see and what we get, if it's beneficial for all, we can continue it.
Okay, sir. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Saurabh Handa from Citigroup. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity, sir. I had two questions. Firstly, on the volumes of HPHT that you said were 0.28. So we assume out of this 0.2 MMSCMD is the contracted portion that goes for industrial commercial use, and the balance is what you use for APM?
No.
Sorry, for the priority sector?
No. Completely this is for priority sector. 0.28 is for priority sector. HPHT procured on priority basis for CGD is not allowed to be used in industrial commercial. Our industrial commercial is catered through Henry Hub term contract, and there is another term contract linked to Brent through Reliance. Okay, that is more than sufficient for our I&C requirement.
Okay, so your old Reliance contract of 0.1 is not included in this 0.28?
No.
That's over and above.
0.28 includes, 0.2 term contract, and balance we have got through IGX HPHT bidding regularly.
Okay, so the 0.1 MMSCMD of Reliance Gas is over and above this?
Yes.
Okay. So, and just another question. Given that you have seen a pretty meaningful pickup in CNG conversions last quarter, can you just comment on the volumes that you have been seeing, say, this month in October, either just CNG or overall basis? Are we seeing a sequential pickup? Anything that you can throw some light on?
Usually there is not any material increase between Q2 and Q3. Q1, Q4 normally are a bit low, Q2, Q3 are a bit high. And having said that, some of these, the festival season and the holidays are there, that sometimes, depending on the timing of the holiday, it can have a up or down on your CNG volume. So till now, if you're talking in October, if there were any material significant jump we have seen, the answer is no. But we are waiting for these schemes to gain traction, especially the commercial goods vehicles. They haven't really started, coming back to their old numbers yet. The increase which we are seeing in the 19,000 vehicles, the Q1Q, the 4,000 number increase is predominantly from private cars, whose per capita consumption that is relatively lower. Of course, this quarter those 100-odd buses also came through. But on the small, light and intermediate commercial goods vehicle segment, we are still way off the numbers which used to be there a couple of years back, when CNG and diesel price differential used to be significant.
Okay, so you are hoping for some maybe uptake, say from next quarter when the full benefit, I think, of like the festive season being over, and you also spoke about, I think, 0.1 MMSCMD of new industrial contracts. Even those should start kicking in from, say, the fourth quarter, March quarter?
Yeah, the end of the construction season basically, and Q4 and a bit in maybe Q1 next year.
But in October as a trend we are seeing slight increases there in the volume, overall volume.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Darshit from Robo Capital. Please go ahead.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Thanks for taking my question.
So I just have one. Rest of them are answered. You said currently for H1 of FY24 it is 14.5 EBITDA per SCM, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you said 12 is the number that looks sustainable. Is that correct?
Yeah.
For the next
longer period of time, I'm saying 12 is, as of now, it is sustainable.
Okay. All right. For the next, at least for the next 2-3 years, as what the conditions are.
Quarters. Years we can't say.
2-3 years is very long period. So 14.6 is this quarter and 15.6 is the H1 for this year.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank
you.
Yeah.
Our next question is from the line of Mohit Mehra from Guardian Capital. Please go ahead.
Thank you. For this industrial and consumer incentives that we are running, the 10% discount, are we still making money on the incremental volumes? Because the gas sourcing blend would also be different, right? It would be a mix of spot and HDHD.
Yeah, and I think we have clarified the I&C segments. We are not feeding with spot or HPHT. They are being fed using our term contracts. So even with the additional 10% discount for the new large customers, we are making money on them also.
Got it. So even the incremental volumes that will flow, those will also be satisfied by the term contract.
Yes, it's like this. As we keep on aggregating volumes and the volumes increase, we will keep going on for tranches of term contracts to feed them.
Okay. Understood. And again, so the focus seems to be shifting from margins to volume, and so these schemes that we are running for the CNG discounts as well as for the heavy commercial vehicles, is there a floor margin that we would be comfortable with?
Yeah, focus has shifted. We are not exactly shifted. We are making a balance between the margins and volumes. And what was your second question? It's not very clear.
So is there some floor margin? So let's say we would not go below, say, 8 rupees per SCM, 9 rupees per SCM, whatever. Is there any such number that we could provide?
We don't keep any floor margin as such in the mind. However, we do keep, floor for pricing with respect to our gas costs and some margin over that, rather than keeping an absolute to this. But all that is done keeping in mind overall absolute profitability should go up. I'm saying the absolute amount of PAT we generate or EBITDA we generate should go up with the incremental volumes at a company level.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, our next question is from the line of Kirtan Mehta from BOB Capital Markets. Please go ahead. Mr. Kirtan Mehta, your line has been unmuted.
Am I audible?
Yes, please go ahead.
I just wanted to check on the fuel savings schemes that we are offering, the fuel card that we are offering. So in terms of how does the card work? This would be the upfront initial sort of the 2 lakh card that we are doing. Would it be immediately against the entire CNG purchase that do, or would it be a discount on the exact numbers? How does the card actually work?
The card works, so the card is loaded by us, and the vehicle owner can go to our CNG station, fill up CNG. If he's filled up, let's say 800 rupees worth of CNG, he swipes the card and 800 gets reduced from his card balance.
Fine, sir. So it would be sort of the upfront loaded cost that we will take, and we'll be booking this cost into our numbers as and when the card gets swiped.
Correct.
Fine, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the last question of our question and answer session. I would now like to hand the conference over to the management for closing comments.
Thank you so much all for joining in today's earnings call, and we look forward to have your support in future as well and posing confidence on the company. Thank you so much, and very happy Diwali and happy New Year, which is going to come soon. to all the investors in MGL. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of Phillip Capital India Private Limited, that concludes the conference call. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.